Hello again, everybody. Harry Boxer, Technical Trader at TechTrader.com. These are the charts of the day. Really bad day on Wall Street, although we had a fairly decent day for trading, picking and clipping them away. There is a cause for concern here, and I don't want everyone to think I'm turning bearish on you, but I've been concerned for weeks. And of course, today's action was pretty negative, breaking through some key support levels. And unless I see an immediate reverse here, I think we could be down for the next week or so. We'll see if we can get a pullback enough to give us some nice buys, or it's going to be something a lot worse. In the meantime, stay off margin, raise some cash, make sure you tighten your stops, be protective of your capital. Let's start with a look at the short side today. CalAmp, which I put out today as a short, and you can see why. After a beautiful uptrend, the stock cracked after forming a top, cracked right here from the wedge, came down hard from the rising wedge, and breaking again with the breakaway gap a couple days ago. It's following through to the downside, down $1.12 or 5.9% on 2 million shares. Picking up volume on the downside, never a good thing. If we go lower from here, I could see a quick test of the 15.5 area, followed by a potential move down to the bottom of the channel, which could get you down to 11 or 12. But we'll just have to see what we get. Now, up next is eHealth, which has been looking pretty toppy of late here. Came down wedge, and this wedge is about to break. Today it dropped $1.42 or 3.83%. Volume picked up to the downside, biggest in 3 weeks. We crack here, coming down to retest the lows at the very least near 32.5, but very likely a move towards 26.7 maybe had. ESI has been in a steady downtrend for months now. First gave it to you at 29 and change. It's now 16, and to me, it could be headed to 14, maybe 12. ESRX broke a flag today and dropped $1.49 at 2.1%. Volume picked up as it did. This looks bearish. This is a top, a breakdown with a breakaway gap, rising wedge, pullback, bear flag, breakdown. Look for a retest of the lows here at 64 3/4. If it gets through that, 60 is your next target. IN. After a beautiful run up, you can see the stock broke support in end of April, end of March, beginning of April, and stair-stepped its way down, finally collapsing here. Took a couple months to recover and form a bear flag, but you can see today dropping 215, almost 4%. The stock could come down and retest 45.5 pretty quickly, maybe even get down to 40.41. INSY with the left shoulder, head right shoulder, broke down hard. Three-wave corrected pullback, and now it's rolling over. If you look at the last few sessions, it's been coming down every day. Not a heavily traded stock, but the fifth wave down could get it to at least 20, maybe even 15. NDSO, also another example of a beautiful rising channel that was broken with a hard crack, a rebound, or a retest, and then a monthly wave down here, followed by a 2-month rising wedge. That wedge is being broken right now. If it gets below the test of 37 to 7 1/4 here, you're going to see that test the lows again in 32. And beyond that, 29. NPC, sure looks like this is rolling over. After breaking the neckline of this topping pattern, big breakaway gap, it's formed a bear wedge. Should this crack below 86 below 77.5 or so, you could see this cascade lower towards 70. In NUS, one of our prior swing trade shorts worked out, and it's still working. In the last few weeks, it's gone sideways, but looks like it may have broken today, down 207 to close under 71, testing 70 at one point. The multiple lows down here are in the 67.5, 68 range. We break that, we're headed towards 60. OUTR, formerly Coinstar, broke here hard from the bear flag, and today broke down 226 or almost 4%. It's going to test the trend line shortly. It may very well come all the way down to the mid to high 40s. SILC Silicon with a major uptrend broken here with a breakaway gap from the bear wedge, at which point I was indicating to you I thought it was looking very bearish. Here's your wedge. It's slowly hugging the top of that channel but coming down, and today broke support, taking out, well, not quite filling the gap yet, but it looks to me like if it does get below this 37.5 area, this could be low 30s. And that's it for tonight. All on the short side. Ugly market. Be careful, everybody. Good night, and I'll talk to you in the room tomorrow.